a desperate attempt to win the 2020 presidential election, Donald Trump has resorted to stealing mailboxes. You heard me? Trump is stealing mailboxes. He has to be stopped immediately. I am putting a new law into effect right now, and I call it mailbox stick.
Trump needs to be stopped immediately. I mean, he's out there stealing mailboxes from hardworking people.
You'll never catch me. Hide your mailboxes. Hide your stamps. Hide your envelopes. I'm coming for them all.
I got a letter from some guy named Joe Biden the other day, and I opened it up, and it said, vote for Joe Biden. So I ran in the kitchen, and I'm like, who the hell is Joe Biden?
America, listen up. This has gone on long enough. We need to stop Trump from stealing mailboxes so we can vote from home. It's our only hope.
End of the road, Democrats. You've had your fun for far too long. November is right around the corner, and it's game over for you. Now it's my turn.
Bless America. Hey, Bob.
What?
Where is the camera not functioning today?
I was working on it earlier. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Okay. That plugs in there. And I plug that in there. And... oh, shit.
Well, shit is right. We can't do a podcast without a camera.
But you did radio without cameras for 45 years.
It's not the same. I need my camera on.
Just vamp.
What?
Vamp.
What do you mean? Vamp?
You know. Just fake it till I got it fixed.
What, pretend the camera's working?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. What do you think of my hat? It matches my shirt today. It's not working, Bob.
What?
Vamping is not working.
Oh, okay. Let's see. That plugs into there, and that plugs into there, and...
and what? Oh, shit. It's back. Okay. Don't touch anything more.
All right.
That's. I think you've got it. I think that's working okay. But the air conditioner, Bob, the AC we need to turn the AC up. It's hot in here. I mean, we're going through this heat wave, Bob. I mean,
yeah, but PG&E said we have to conserve.
And you know what I always say to PG&E, right? Turn up the AC. Anyway, Bob is a little concerned about our power here at the McKay Metro Mansion because Apparently, PG&E seems to think that we use too much electricity here at the McKay Metro Mansion. And I tell them, well, that's because I've got things to say on my podcast, and we've got a lot of equipment that gets hot. So as a result of the equipment, we have to turn the AC all the way up. Bob, please.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, what? Well, Bob's other concern with the AC is that he claims that air conditioning now spreads coronavirus. I knew I shouldn't let you.
I know, but I read it.
He read it in USA Today, which I've told you not to read USA Today. Apparently, USA Today has published an article claiming that most air conditioning systems spread coronavirus. They actually facilitate the spread of coronavirus. This is in USA Today. It says, though some public health officials expected coronavirus transmission to wane in the summer as temperature rises, the air becomes more humid. Cases have actually skyrocketed as a result of the of air conditioning because it's so hot we all turn our air conditioners on, and for some reason, and nobody seems to know why, engineers and ventilation experts are claiming that might be the reason why we've seen a spike in COVID, especially here in the valley in California, and in other hot and humid places around the country, because people turn on their HVAC systems, they set them up high, and that's the reason why. So we're So somehow the COVID virus, the COVID-19, the coronavirus, knows that you've got your air conditioning on, so it heads over to your house. It jumps in an Uber or a Lyft, and it comes over to your house and climbs up and gets on the roof of your house and goes into your AC unit, and then just gets blown all over the house. I guess that's what these engineers and ventilation experts are suggesting. Yeah, that's where we need to go. If we have any questions about COVID-19, talk to a ventilation expert. Don't talk to a doctor now. Or better yet, talk to a governor. We'll get to that in a moment. Janet Mills. If you don't know who she is, Janet Mills is the governor of the teeny tiny little state of Maine. And this woman is completely and utterly insane. Wait till you hear what her latest orders are for the teeny tiny state of Maine, where they have less than, I think, grand total in this year, less than 3,500 COVID cases. I think 100 people have died all total throughout the entire state of Maine. But she's very concerned. And you thought Gretchen Whitmer was crazy. You think Gavin Newsom is crazy. This woman is a nut. We'll get to that in a moment. But I wanted to get this out of the way. This morning, even though I'm not on Facebook because I'm not allowed to be on Facebook for another, 6 days? Or no, I think it's 7 days. What is today, the 20th? So, yeah, it'd be 7 days, Bob. 7 days I'm not allowed to be on Facebook. And now the reason I was blocked from Facebook is because I posted that picture right there. Now, here's some irony. We're streaming on Facebook, and everybody on Facebook who's watching us streaming is seeing that picture right now. But that picture right there is against community standards on Facebook. So I was blocked on Facebook for posting that picture of Dr. Emmanuel and two other frontline doctors. Now, I complained that Facebook was racist because they wouldn't allow a picture of a black woman to be posted on Facebook. And they didn't respond. I said, you're a bunch of racists. You just don't want a picture of a black woman, especially a doctor, posted on Facebook. So they took me down, gave me a 30-day suspension for that picture. I am not lying to you. Bob, tell him.
He's not lying.
That is absolutely true, right?
Right.
Okay. Bob, you heard it right from Bob's mouth. I am not allowed to post on Facebook until the 27th, I think, of August, because on June 28th, I think it's 27th, because on June 28th, I posted that picture with a caption that said, we'll be playing the video of the frontline doctors, which has been banned by Facebook. And Facebook immediately then banned me for 30 days. And I know you've probably seen this, and so I wanted to just kind of juxtapose these two images for you. And maybe you've seen this. If you're on Facebook, you may have seen this picture. Now, in case you don't know, that's a picture of a jihadi, basically. Well, let's just say it's Antifa, okay? That is a picture of an Antifa slitting the throat of a police officer. Now, you may have seen that picture as a protest that is coming up on various people's Facebook pages, and it's a screenshot of the picture that someone complained about the picture. Someone said, hey, that's really bad. You shouldn't have that picture up on Facebook. And so they complained about that picture. And as you can see, if you look closely, Facebook responded by saying, thanks for letting us know about this. The photo was reviewed, and though it doesn't go against one of our specific community standards, you did the right thing by letting us know about it. We understand that it may be offensive or distasteful to you, so we want to help you see less things like this. So in other words, the operative comment from Facebook is that it doesn't go against our community standards. So I want you to consider the fact that this picture of a law enforcement officer being murdered, being beheaded, or having his throat slit by an Antifa is not against their community standards. However, this picture is. That picture right there goes against Facebook's community standards and will get you 30 days in Facebook jail. However, this picture is perfectly fine and permissible and will not be removed from Facebook. So there you have it. Just wanted to clear that up. This picture is not allowed, but this picture is allowed. Okay? So, as usual, my comments to Facebook are these. Fuck you. Look, people have said to me, Jazz, use Parler, use Parler. I've got a Parler account, but here's the thing about going to Parler, and so many people have Parler accounts. Certainly all the big celebrity guys do. So I should be in there too, right? I mean, Hannity and Dan Bongino, all these guys have their have a Parler account. But when you go to Parler, it's kind of like walking into Home Depot and trying to find somebody to help you. It's like, hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody here? Here, here. It's like a big empty warehouse, all right? So, I'm pretty much stuck, and I guess most of us are, unfortunately, with Sophie? Okay. My dog has been activated. I believe the doorbell has rung. And is anybody, Bob, will you answer the door?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay, let's see who's at the door. Okay, my neighbor's daughter is bringing back the lawnmower, which is so sweet of her. She borrowed the lawnmower yesterday. Did you know that? Yes, she borrowed it yesterday. I thought she'd already returned it, but apparently not. So she's returning it today. God bless her. Thank you, hon. Appreciate that. Bob's taking care of it and putting the lawnmower in the back. Hey, she can mow the front lawn if she wants to. Be nice, But anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking to you just a moment ago about Governor Janet Mills. Let me fill you in. She is the governor of Maine, and Governor Janet Mills, she got into a big row with a restaurant owner. You may have seen this on Tucker Carlson a few months ago. where this restaurant owner who wanted to open his restaurant because he couldn't possibly continue with his restaurant in lockdown, and all of the people that worked for him were unemployed. They were making no money, and all this stuff, right? And he was really concerned, and he went ahead and opened his restaurant anyway. Well, she got pissed. He opened his restaurant, and her response, Governor Janet Mills of the little teeny tiny state of Maine, decided that she was going to go after him and file criminal charges against him for, I think originally she was going to file attempted murder charges against him. That didn't work. But she did revoke all of his business licenses and permits, so he had to close the family restaurant that had been open for 50 years. He had to close it for good, forever. It'll never be open again. And it was one of the most popular restaurants in the entire teeny tiny state of Maine. Well, what did she do just recently? She allowed restaurants to open, but there's a caveat. Now, when a restaurant opens, let me tell you, this whole mask thing, this is all so very symbolic, don't you think? It is a symbol of submission. The whole mask thing, people are so crazy about the masks and everything. I had to go to a doctor's appointment yesterday. I put on the mask, and it was funny because the girl behind the counter, the receptionist at the doctor's office, says, "I'm sorry, sir, but you have to wear a face covering. Do you have a mask?" I said, "Yes, I do." She said, "Would you put it on, please?" I said, "Yes, I will." She says, "I'm really sorry." And I said, "They don't do any good, right?" She said, "Yes, I know, but we have to have you wear a mask anyway." So, because that's the thing. I mean, I can understand some idiot manager of a Vaughn's or an Albertsons or a Walmart, for that matter, not knowing and just saying, "Okay, put on a mask. Everybody's got to wear a mask." That's because you have. But this is a doctor's office, and they should know, and they do know, that masks really don't do anything. It's a symbol. It is a symbol of submission, forcing all of us to obliterate our identity by wearing a mask. But apparently wearing a mask is not good enough, and this is where Governor Janet Mills comes in. So what happens is these leaders, they feel like the mask isn't good enough, so they push it a step further. And that's what she's done. Janet Mills, the governor of Maine, has now said that all restaurant workers must not only wear masks, but they must wear I think it's probably best if I show you. It's probably best that I show you what Governor Janet Mills is now demanding that all restaurant workers wear, besides a mask. Okay, it's a form, I'll give you a hint. It's a form of a face shield. Okay, you've seen the face shields. They cover, you're like, people look like ridiculous wearing those things. But she said the face shield as it is isn't good enough. So you have to wear them upside down. Or wear a cone. That is the cone. Commonly referred to anyone who owns a dog as the cone of shame. You know how it is when your dog has surgery or has a certain condition and they can't be chewing on their leg or biting their feet or whatever. They have an operation or some kind of surgery, and they have to wear the cone of shame. Now, restaurant workers, I kid you not, this is in the state of Maine, must wear a cone. All restaurant workers must wear a cone. The reasoning is this: because it will direct their breath up, not down. She wants all restaurant workers, this is the peak of insanity, to wear a dog cone. I wish this were a joke, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not. Maine Public Radio reports on the latest COVID-19 decrees from Governor Janet Mills by saying, quote, front of house staff in restaurants who choose to wear face shields must now wear them upside down or wear a cone so that they are so as to be attached to their neck, so their breath is directed up, not down. Now, if what we were telling you earlier, the USA Today report is true, that coronavirus is actually spread by the air conditioners, which would explain why it didn't get bad in warm weather states until the summer heated up. It's a good thing that Maine is on top of everything, and that the brilliance. Oh my God, you thought Gretchen Whitmer was brilliant for banning the sale of lawn furniture or banning the sale of seeds to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but allowing, of course, all the big box stores to remain open. The governor of Maine has done her one better by now saying that all restaurant workers must wear a dog cone, upside down shield, or a dog cone. I kid you not. Look it up. You'll find it. It's on the worldwide interwebs. In fact, let's see if I've got the web address here. Go to Maine, M-A-I-N-E, public.org. That's mainepublic.org, and you will find the article. This is an article at the mainepublic.org, the post about the Mills administration. It says here, the Mills administration has updated preventative checklist for several types of businesses under stage 3 of the state's reopening plan. Affected businesses include restaurants, movie theaters, gyms, museums, and campgrounds. Most of the updates are just a few additions or clarifications of previously blah, blah, blah. For example, front of house staff in restaurants who choose to wear face shields must now wear them upside down or wear a cone so that they are attached at the collar instead of the forehead, so that their breath is directed up, not down. Got it? This is the peak of insanity. Folks, this is the peak of absolute, utter insanity. How many cases of COVID-19 exist in the state of Maine? Let's go over here to Bing.com, and we did a search, coronavirus COVID-19 statistics for the state of Maine, and here it is. In fact, why don't we do this real quick, because I don't want to be accused of let's do that, and I'll come right over here to this page. There it is. You can see it. Cases in Maine confirmed, 4,253, with 128 deaths, and 3,679 people have recovered. We have 5 million cases down here in the U.S., 4,253 in the state of Maine. And understand that Maine is just now coming out of their lockdown. Just now. She's just this week, I guess, allowed the restaurants to reopen in the state of Maine with those low numbers. Got it? How are we supposed to take any of this seriously? Does anybody take any of this crap? Honestly, do you take this shit seriously? Have you seen the latest poll numbers on what most Americans believe about the COVID-19 and the risk of dying from COVID. First of all, how many people in the U.S., what percentage of our population is dead as a result of COVID-19? I'm going to give you a chance to think about that for a second. How many people in the United States, what percentage of our population has died as a result of COVID-19? Axios did a poll recently, along with Gallup. It was an Axios Gallup poll. Okay, the correct answer for most Americans, I'm not saying this is the correct answer, but for most Americans, when they were asked, what is the percentage of people who have died, percentage of our population who have died from COVID-19, their response was 9% of our population. 9% of our population. Do you know what 9% of our population is? Roughly 30 million people. The majority in the poll of American citizens, average folks, not Democrats, not Republicans, that was not a part. The average person in the U.S. believes 30 million people are dead from COVID-19. The reality is 170,000, give or take, just a little over, I want to say 174,000 have died. That is not even close to 1% of our population dead from COVID-19. I choke thinking about that. That's the majority. Now, those people have been misled pretty seriously by the lamestream media, who have convinced you that the most deadly disease known to man is COVID-19. But it gets better than that. Americans dramatically misunderstand the risk of death they face from coronavirus. According to the findings of the Franklin Templeton Gallup Research Project, which was just released the end of July, researchers found that Americans overestimate the mortality rate for people age 55 or younger. And according to the data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, let's do that again. Let's bring up the display capture. Right. Let's bring up the display capture here. And I believe this is it. Yes. Here we go. Just so you know, this is from foxbusiness.com. Americans dramatically misunderstand the risk of dying from COVID-19. All right. Researchers found that Americans overestimate the mortality rate for people age 55 or younger, according to data from the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention through July 22nd. For example, respondents estimated that people aged 44 years or younger have accounted for 30% of U.S. COVID-19 deaths, when the actual figure for that age group is 2.7%. 2.7% of all COVID deaths are people under the age of 44. But the vast majority of Americans believe that people under 44 account for 30%. Now, conversely, Americans estimated that people age 55 or older only accounted for 57% of COVID-19 deaths, when the actual figure is 92%. Americans thought people age 65 or older only accounted for 40% of COVID-19 deaths, when the actual figure is 80%. The misconception translates directly into a degree of fear for one's health for most people vastly exceeds the actual risk, as according to Sunil Desari, a chief investment officer at the Franklin Templeton. Remember, this is a financial group. This is not a this is a nonpartisan group. This is a financial group, folks. A financial group. It is beyond the pale how misinformed, how absolutely uninformed people are in this country when it comes to COVID-19. So when you get into an argument with someone, let's say on your Twitter or your Facebook feed over masks, for instance, when you get an argument with somebody over masks, understand, they have no clue what they're talking about. They could very well be one of those people that believes that roughly 30 million people have died in the United States from COVID-19 when it's actually only 174,000. And who do we have to thank for it? Who do we have to thank for this misinformation? There's actually two groups of folks. One is the lamestream media for scaring the shit out of everybody. And two, those folks who gathered last night for day, 3 of their convention. As a matter of fact, let's get a convention update from the United Spot right here on the Jaz McKay Show.
Hello, and welcome to yet another night of lies, pre-recorded videos, Trump bashing, and teleprompters. I've never even heard of me, so there's no need to introduce myself. Our first speaker is none other than above-the-law email deleting specialist, Hillary Clinton. Hi, I'm Hillary Clinton, and I know Joe. Joe and I have a history. I remember one night Joe called me on the phone and said, "Hey, Hillary, can you help me out with this Tara Reid thing?" That night I knew Joe and I were going to be closer than ever before. And it was at that moment I knew that if I got Joe elected as president, Bill and I could do anything we wanted to. As many of you know, Bill is in a lot of trouble, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to help him out. This is why we need to vote for Joe, because I don't want Bill to go to prison. Thank you. What a happy day, right? What a happy day. If only Willie is Willie here? Hey, Willie, I remember the time I was in Willie's office and I said, "Willie, let go of my ears. I can do it myself." And that's kind of like what I'm doing right now. If I get elected VP, I'm going to take away all your guns, I'm going to withhold evidence, and I'm going to divide this country. It's going to be crazy, y'all. And I owe it all to Willie. I want to give a special shout out to Willie. Thank you, Willie. I wouldn't even be up here on this stage right now. I don't even need knee pads no more. I got calluses. All right, everybody, vote for Joe. Oh, man, I'm so mad right now, I just stepped in homeless man poop. I have homeless man poop all over my brand new $500 suits. I need some ice cream. This is all Trump's fault. Oh, my gosh, I can smell it. I can smell the homeless man poop. If Joe Biden was president, I wouldn't be stepping in homeless man poop. That's why we need to vote for Joe. It's like, it's switching around. It's like, we need a president who will defund the police and take away your guns, We need Joe. Somebody clean this homeless man poop off my suits now. Gosh damn it. Well, hey there, friends and neighbors. It's Aunt Liz. I just wanted to send a special shout out to all my Indian brothers and sisters out there. I'm so hungry for some corn. Would anyone like a beer from Aunt Liz? I won't tell. I'm going to be shooting my bow and arrow a little bit later and making dream catchers. I'm so easily approachable. And that's why we need to vote for Joe Biden. Because everything is Trump's fault. And we need more Indian casinos. And please, show me some respect. Don't wear the Cleveland Indians jersey around me. It's just rude. Vote for Joe. I spent 8 years dividing the country. I'm still dividing it today. During my 8 years as president, I had no idea Joe Biden had a plan to help America. He never told me. And I'm glad he didn't. We need Joe, because Joe is not Trump, and anyone who isn't Trump has my vote. So come November, when you mail in your votes, make sure you wear your mask. Vote for Joe twice or even 3 times. Because Joe ain't Trump, and Trump ain't Joe. Have you bought Michelle's new book? Make sure to vote for Home and vote for Joe. Gosh damn it! I can still smell the homeless man poop. My shoes are ruined. The people in my district have no respect. Taking a poop on the sidewalk while rich people are trying to buy ice cream? That's so wrong. Look some manners. I need a drink. All right. Anyways, it's Joe. Okay, vote for Joe.
wear your mask, vote from home, and, it's like mailing your votes, and vote for Joe. Trump is bad. All right. Good night.
Trump is the star of the show. At least what they let you see. I have not yet watched any of the streaming shit other than what I've seen on Tucker Carlson every night. The streaming shit is priceless. That's the stuff that's going on right now. They're streaming live on the interwebs during the day. All this crazy stuff, all right? All this crazy stuff that they don't want you to see, so they don't show it on television at night. And it is a scream. Now, I thought it was interesting that, and I love that guy's work. I don't know anything about it. His name is, the name of the YouTube channel is The United Spot. And he's been posting videos for the past about a year, maybe a year and a half. And his stuff is great. When you go to YouTube, make sure you look up The United Spot. The United Spot. His shit is priceless. It's great stuff. But yeah, he makes a point of bringing up, Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton was there. Hillary Clinton, you know what? I mean, he was absolutely correct in his assumption that the reason that the Clintons are so desperate, and Obama so desperate to see to it that Trump is out of this White House, folks, is because they know what's coming down. I wish to God that Barr would get these indictments prepared and get them out there right away, because, it is what it is. It takes time to build these cases. They've got one indictment so far, and trust me, that guy is talking. That guy is spilling the beans. Now, we've got until November. We still have an October surprise coming that I'm sure will be a few more indictments. I'm hoping at least Comey and Brennan are indicted between now and November 3rd. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Now, yesterday on this broadcast, or podcast, whatever you want to call the damn thing, we played a video that has absolutely taken the country by storm. The young woman in the video goes by the name of Leah Guest, Guest. She is a songwriter and a performer, and she has written a song that was just written and performed last week for the very first time in Sturgis, okay? And we played this for you yesterday, and I want to play it again. And I want to tell you that we put it up. Bob got it posted on the Jaz McKay Show YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and search The Jaz McKay Show, you'll find me. All right, there's several other sites, channels that say Jaz McKay. But JAZMCKAY Show, The Jaz McKay Show. There's only one of those. You'll find this video. In fact, let me go check, because Bob posted this at 2 o'clock yesterday? And let me go real quick and refresh and see how many views that we have, because I'm trying to help this woman. Oh, my God. All right. So it was about 22 hours ago that Bob had posted this. And there goes my phone. Isn't that great? And it's a fake phone call. We get those all the time. Still have a home phone, believe it or not. 3,500 views of this video. 3,500 views of this video.
We went from several generations of hardworking Americans to a bunch of young fucking wussies who live at home with their moms until they're fucking 31 and can't take a punch because they're pussies. We went from can't make them get a job even though they're all in debt, and they'll lecture you about being politically correct. They're crying and whining, it's gotten pretty scary. So here's a song for all the fucking fairies. Fuck your feelings. No one gives a fuck about your issues, your problems, your shitty fucking luck. This generation's fucked, we're a bunch of fucking weaklings. So wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. Yeah! Woo! Go fuck. It don't affect me, but we don't need 1,000 terms for your sexuality. We're so damned emotional, been crying for a while, but the world don't run on rainbows and unicorn smiles. There's a solution if you shut up and listen. Put the effort in a job that you're putting into bitchin'. Suck it up, buttercup. Do this and you'll be fine. Grow up hair and wipe the tears from your vagina. That's right. Fuck your feelings. No one gives a fuck about your issues, your problems, your shitty fucking luck. This generation's fucked. We're a bunch of fucking weaklings. So wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. That's right. Wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. It's easy. Just wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings.
Yeah! 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 Now, I just went to check 3,500 and last count 47 views of that on my YouTube page. Now, I reached out to the lady there. We call her the Fuck Your Feelings girl. And she lives, I love that song. She lives in Marathon, Florida. She travels, she does shows. She's a one-woman performer, and she was so happy to hear that that her song is getting spread all over the world on the worldwide interwebs. She wanted me to deliver a message to you, the viewers of this show. She said, "You are fucking awesome." She actually said, your viewers are fucking warriors," is what she said. They are awesome. And she wants to thank you. And Chris, Chris is the guy that turned me on to it. I spoke with her on Facebook. We chatted back and forth. We're friends on Facebook. She's going to be on the show, hopefully next week. She's working on, she's in the studio recording Fuck Your Feelings right now. I told her, if you need help with producing a video, I've got the technology, limited as it is, but she needs to have a video for that song for sure. And so she said she'll get me the audio, and if I haven't heard back from her, she's going to have a video of it or not. But we'll get her on the show. We'll get her here on the Jaz McKay show, hopefully next week. But she said she's been just inundated with response to the song, and just amazing. See, I have a theory. And you can mock my theory and say that I'm wrong. But out of 3,000, let me go over there and check once again, because the video is...
We went from several generations of...
Okay, hang on. I'm going to play, but I had to click on it on my YouTube page. 3,566 views. People are watching this video literally we get at least a couple of hundred views every hour on this. And so far, only 2 negative responses. Only 2 negative responses out of 3,566 views. And my theory is this: Twitter ain't America. Despite what a lot of these jackass leftist wackadoodles who run major corporations, where these guys get this, that Twitter somehow is representative of America. The Democrat Party believes that. CNN and MSNBC believe that. Twitter does not represent this country. Don't forget, a lot of Twitter users don't even live in this country. But that's beside the point, because I don't think that Twitter represents much of anybody. But the theory is, and I've listened to Rush Limbaugh talk about this before, is that a lot of folks out there believe that what they see on Twitter is somehow representative of we the people. And that ain't true. That's just not true, folks. And just anecdotal as it might be, the proof of that is the success of that song in just less than a week. That song originally went up on I'm not sure who it was on Facebook, some guy's Facebook page, and I can go over here and check real quick and give you the name of the guy that originally posted, because it wasn't her. Somebody recorded it. Here we go. It was originally posted by Jerry Farley Sr. on Leah Guest's Facebook page. Okay, so Jerry Farley Sr. videotaped that performance you just saw last week in Sturgis, where Leah was performing. So he posted it after he videotaped her, and that recording is what you just saw and what has absolutely taken off. And just in less than a week, because that post, let me double check. I want to make sure I got that correct. That post went up August 14th. What is today? The 20th? That post was originally posted. This has all happened since August 14th. Over 5 million views on Facebook. And just since yesterday, 22 hours ago, we have 3,566 views of the song that you just heard from Leah Guest. In fact, let's play it again. You can go to my Facebook page, or you can go to Leah's. Actually, I have a link to Leah's Facebook page on my, I believe on my YouTube page, and it might be on my Facebook. I'm not sure if Chris had posted that. He posted the video on my Facebook page, which I don't have access to because, well, you know me. I posted something against the community standards of Facebook. I wonder if I were to post this picture, if I would get banned from Facebook for mocking Janet Mills in Maine, who now by gubernatorial decree has stated that all restaurant servers in the state of Maine must wear dog cones to stop the spread of COVID-19. Wonder if I'll get in trouble for that. But, I got a picture here I want to show you. There it is. Love that. Guns. You know what those are? That's coming up. That story's coming up in a minute. Just to whet your appetite. Guns. We're going to talk about guns in just a little bit. But let's play it again. Here for you is Leah Guest. And this is on my YouTube channel called The Jaz McKay Show. Go there and share it. There's also a message. Well, I'll tell you what, real quick. Let me double click on this. I'm going to play you the video that we have on the YouTube. If I can find it here. There it is. It's labeled Fuck Your Feelings Too. And this has a message from Leah to you, the viewers of this song and of this podcast.
We went from several generations of hardworking Americans to a bunch of young fucking wussies who live at home with their moms until they're fucking 31 and can't take a punch because they're pussies. Can't make them get a job even though they're all in debt, and they'll lecture you about being politically correct. They're crying and whining, it's gotten pretty scary. So here's a song for all the fucking fairies. Fuck your feelings. No one gives a fuck about your issues, your problems, your shitty fucking luck. This generation's fucked. We're a bunch of fucking weaklings. So wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. Yeah! Woo! Go ahead and have them, but we don't want to hear about them. Keep them to yourself. Screw who you want, it don't affect me, but we don't need 1,000 terms for your sexuality. We're so damned emotional, been crying for a while, but the world don't run on rainbows and unicorn smiles. There's a solution, if you shut up and listen, put the effort in a job that you're putting into bitchin', suck it up, buttercup. Do this and you'll be fine, and grow a pair and wipe the tears from your vagina. That's right, fuck your feelings. No one gives a fuck about your issues, your problems, your shitty fucking luck. This generation's fucked, we're a bunch of fucking weaklings. So wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. That's right, wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. It's easy, just wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. Yeah!
your feelings, girl. Holy crap. So I guess I went viral on the internet. I had no idea that was going to happen, but it's kind of exciting. Fuck your feelings. I wrote this crazy song for Sturgis Bike Week to play for a bunch of bikers, and apparently were posted on the internet, and I just checked and my song has 1 million views, so that's crazy. Yeah, so I guess a lot of people have been contacting me, asking me where they can find the song. That song's like a week old, so I actually don't have it recorded anywhere, but I wanted to let everybody know I am in the studio tomorrow and I'm going to record Fuck Your Feelings, and I'm so glad to see Americans sharing this video and standing up to the cancel culture happening right now. So I will be in touch with my song, and fuck your fucking feelings.
Yeah.
Fuck your feelings.
Fuck your feelings.
No one gives a fuck about your issues, your problems,
Nobody cares.
your shitty fucking luck.
Shut up.
This generation's fucked. We're a bunch of fucking weaklings. So wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. That's right. Wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. It's easy. Just wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings.
I love it. Now let me give you a little background on it. Leah told me that she was at Sturgis this past couple of weeks for the big bike rally up there, and she goes there every year. And she's seen this. She had seen this T-shirt, and you've probably seen it too. They sell them on Facebook. If you go to Facebook or Twitter, you'll see the little ads for them, and it says "Fuck Your Feelings" on the T-shirt. And she saw this. It's like the #1 selling T-shirt in all of Sturgis, and she wrote that song based on the shirt just for that performance that she made at Sturgis. She's got a whole bunch of other material. She actually has written a lot of songs, really good stuff too. The Potato Song is one of my favorites, but she outdid herself with that. She just outdid herself. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that because of the fact that that song has struck a chord with so many people, proving my theory and Rush Limbaugh's theory and Sean Hannity's and Glenn Beck's theory that the cancel culture that we've seen pop up as a result of become so popular as a result of Twitter and Facebook is not a majority, and neither are Democrats or Democrat voters, which is why we have the COVID-19 virus, which is why we have rioting in the streets, which is why we have mail-in ballots. The Democrats know, internal polling, they got to know that they have absolutely no shot, no chance of winning this election. In fact, I predict that we will not only win this, that Trump will win this election coming up on November 3rd. I'll go so far as to predict I think we take back the House and not only maintain but grow our numbers in the Senate. At least I hope we maintain that. That's a little bit different. The Senate is a little different than the House of Representatives. But the people, I don't believe, are behind the Democrats. Those people you see in Portland, especially this guy that beat the shit out of that poor dude in the other day in Portland. What was his name? Keys Love. The guy's still wanted, by the way. In fact, let me get his wanted poster up here so you can see. Just got to make a quick adjustment. There we go. Keys Love. This is Marquise Love, also known as Keys. And this is the guy that Portland police are still looking for and cannot find, who nearly killed a man in Portland. This guy is the face. Look at that dude's face. That's the guy that kicked the dude in the head in Portland on Saturday, on the 15th. On August 15th, kicked a man in the head, sent him to the hospital. He just got out of the hospital and is recovering at home today. But that guy's face right there, that is the face of the Biden campaign voter. That's who Joe Biden is hoping will put him in the White House. That is a Democrat voter right there. Okay? Marquise Love. Now, my question is, before I get to my break here, My question, and we'll come back and talk about guns. In fact, I'm going to talk about these guns that you see right here when we come back. But my question is, how is it that the Portland police haven't arrested this guy yet? How is it that this guy cannot be found? They've got an arrest warrant out for him, but they haven't been able to find him yet. And I actually read an article from the Portland newspaper, where the Bureau of Police, the Portland Police is not referred to as the Portland Police Department, but they're the Portland Bureau of Police. They said they were looking for him and couldn't find him. The reason they couldn't find him was because they tried calling him. The reason they say they couldn't reach him, they tried to reach him by phone, and he did not. They left a message, and he did not return their call. Are you fucking kidding me? You have an attempted murder. You have a suspect. You have it on videotape. It is cut and dried. You have witnesses. A bunch of witnesses. You got people that know he was there and that he was the one that originally was instigating. He is the one that attacked the young man in the white pickup truck. It's an open and shut case. And the Portland PD cannot find him because he won't return their calls. I believe that a majority of Americans want this son of a bitch behind bars for a very long time. The Twitter mob is telling you that he's a good guy, that the guy that he beat up deserved it because he's a Nazi who was trying to kill people with his pickup truck. And you've seen the video. He was not. He didn't run over one single solitary person, nor did he try. He went out of his way to drive around people. But the Portland PD, which of course is run by Ted Wheeler, who's the mayor of Portland, says they can't find the guy. But if you have any clue, call Brent Christensen. He is the detective on the case at area code 503-823-2087. There's the phone number right there for the Portland Police Department and the detective in charge, Brent Christensen. Why haven't they caught him yet? The reason? He hasn't returned their phone calls. They've left messages, and he doesn't call them back. Are you fucking kidding me with that shit?
The Jaz McKay Show is on.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Long Distance Phone Company, the only long-distance telephone company in the world to offer our exclusive snub calling. Yes, for just a few extra dollars per month. Our operators will call up to 15 people of your choosing, just to remind them that you haven't called them in a long time, and you have no intention of doing so in the foreseeable future. That's snub calling, available only from Ed's Long Distance Phone Company. So go ahead, reach out, and ignore someone today.
And now, the Jaz McKay Show presents Joe Biden's most inspiring quote.
Hey everyone, I'm Joe Biden's husband.
This has been Joe Biden's most inspiring quote.
I learned a lot. And I learned that, Anyway, Bo was associated here. Anyway, the point I want to make is, I learned so much. I learned black, white, all colors, all backgrounds. But I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight, everyone deserves a shot, you know. Come on, man. You know the thing. know what I mean? You know the thing, you know what I mean? Come on, man. What I have to do is I have to continue talking about the things that come on, man. I came down here because I remember the first bumper sticker I saw. I learned that I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight and then watch the hair come back up again. And I learned about kids jumping on my lap. I love kids jumping on my lap. Oh, I'm in trouble. What are we, nuts? Dead. You know, come on, man. Give me a little break here. Get a life. Taking cocaine or not? What do you think? Huh? Come on, man. Black, white, all colors, all backgrounds. What I mean? Come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight. Everyone deserves a shot. You know, come on, man. You know the thing. You know what I mean? You know the thing. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black. Come on, man. The Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. I can hardly wait to meet with that guy who is the stable genius. Come on, man. I am very willing to let the public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness. Come on, man. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids. Come on, man. I mean, come on. Take a look at the record. I know a lot of weed smokers. Come on, man. Black, white, all colors, all backgrounds. What I mean? Come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight. Everyone deserves a shot. You know, come on, man. You know the thing. You know what I mean? You know the thing. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Why the hell would I take a test? I am, come on, man.
What the fuck, bro?
I have 2 shotguns at my home. They're locked in a safe. There's a metal gun case. We live in an area that's wooded, somewhat secluded. And I've said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony and fire 2 blasts outside the house. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. You don't need a machine gun. You don't need 30 rounds. Buy a shotgun. Buy a double-barrel shotgun.
No, you don't need a flamethrower, and you don't need a tank. You don't need an AR-15 to scare those thugs away. No, and I don't need a grenade launcher. I don't need an F-15. There's just one thing I need to do, and they'll stay away from me. Fire 2 blasts outside the house. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun, baby.
You don't need a machine gun.
You don't need a machine gun.
You don't need 30 rounds.
Buy a shotgun. Buy a double-barrel shotgun.
Fire 2 blasts outside the house.
Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun.
You don't need a machine gun. You don't need 30 rounds.
Buy a shotgun. Buy a double-barrel shotgun.
Oh, I'm so glad we picked Kamala. Oh, she's so jolly.
She'll help us secure the Latino vote for sure.
There aren't any more.
Aren't any more Latinos?
Latinx.
No worries. She still appeals to moderates.
Oh, they don't care at all about Mexicans.
Fences are private property. You can't sit on them.
Well, what about mail-in voting? We can always tinker with that. Oh, come on!
It's okay. Calm down, my little bedbug.
What? This is why no one talks to you, dude.
There's still a massive constituency of voters who trust in Joe Biden's competence to lead. The, pool filter orangutan vote.
We needed them!
It's cool, alright? Between you and me, we've got plenty of dead people registered to vote.
Look, I agree this looks bad. But as long as she hasn't been doing this to young black men, we should be fine.
It's all about God, country, and guns. You're listening to the Jazzman, Jaz McKay.
Turn it up and piss somebody off.
Welcome back. It's old Jaz McKay show on twitch.tv. And if you would be so kind as to share this podcast, if you're watching us on Facebook, please come on over to the Jaz McKay Show on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/the Jaz McKay Show. There's the address for you. Right there. That's www.twitch.tv/the Jaz McKay Show. And if you're watching us on Twitter, do the same. If you're watching us on Facebook, share. You hit that little share button. You got a share button down there. You got a retweet button right there on your Twitter account. And if you're watching us right here on Twitch, please take the time to hit that little share button down below and share it on your socialized media. But once again, it's www.twitch.tv/The Jaz McKay Show. Be sure and go to the Jaz McKay Show YouTube channel and share our videos there. And you can subscribe. All of this is done for free. It doesn't cost you anything to join us here on Twitch every day, Monday through Friday, roughly at 12 noon. Sometimes more like 12:05 or even 12:15, depending on how quickly I get myself set up and ready to go. But I wanted to show you this picture again and have you look at that. Now, for most of you guys who are watching this, you say, hey, that's nice. There's some rifles up there. Well, you can tell at least one of those is a BB gun because of the orange tip. You see the bow and arrow up at the top. You see the rifle in the middle. I'm not sure if that is looks like some kind of a bolt action rifle. Not sure if that's a BB gun or what, but on the two on the bottom are definitely BB guns. One looks like a Daisy. The other is an airsoft BB gun with the orange tip on it. Now, if you saw that, what would your reaction be? If you saw that picture right there, what's your reaction? I know. You're thinking, hey, man, get some real guns up there. Well, what if I were to tell you that picture that you just saw there is from an 8th grader's bedroom? Or, I'm sorry, let me take that back. 5th grader in Baltimore County, Maryland. A 5th grader. That's his wall. And guess what? Those are all BB guns. On the wall, hanging behind that student when he was on a video call with his teacher, doing that in-home schooling or whatever they're calling it, the remote schooling or whatever. And in the background, she sees the teacher. I don't know if it was a man or a woman, to be honest with you. I assume that it's a woman, and you'll know why when I tell you this. A Baltimore County, Maryland 5th grader got a visit, this is from PJ Media, got a visit from the police after his teacher called the county sheriffs, the Baltimore County sheriffs, to report she saw guns hanging on the wall behind her student during a video call with this student, with this 5th grade student. The boy's mother, Courtney Lancaster Spree, who, by the way, his mom is a Navy veteran, is warning other parents about a lack of privacy during these virtual classes after her son was targeted by his teacher, who saw what she thought were scary-looking guns hanging on the wall of the boy's bedroom. Now, the mom is quoted as saying, while my son was on a Zoom call, a concerned parent and subsequently 2 teachers saw his prominently displayed and stowed and mounted Red Ryder BB gun and one other BB gun in the background. Spree wrote on Facebook, quote, he was not holding them and never intentionally showed them on the video. In fact, He was oblivious that they could even be seen in the background after the teacher reported the gun to the principal, Jason Feeler. Jason Feeler. Hey, Mr. Feeler. Why do they call you Mr. Feeler? Jason Feeler, the principal, said, "We've got to call the police. We have to report those guns, and we have to demand that home be raided and searched by police." The principal and the teacher cited a rule stating that students cannot get, are you ready for this one, folks? Are you ready for the rule that the fifth grader was in violation of? That they felt justified in calling the police over this in the background. What rule do you think? Anybody? Anybody? Let's enlarge that picture so you can see it even better. Can we do it? Yes, we can. There we go. Let's enlarge that picture. Nice and big there. Look at all those scary guns. Oh, scary guns. And, of course, the bow and arrows up above. But the scary guns. Oh, my God, those guns are so scary. I'm scared to death just looking at those guns. My God. A child, a fifth grader, has those guns in his bedroom. Oh, my God. Look at those guns. Oh, what rule? What school rule do you think was broken that the teacher and the principal felt justified in calling the police to have the boy investigated, to have the boy, hopefully, they thought, arrested? What rule did the teacher and the principal believe had been violated? The principal and the teacher cited a rule stating that students may not bring guns to school. Let me read that again for you. The principal and the teacher said they did the right thing because they have a rule stating that the students are not allowed to bring guns to school. And their claim, are you ready for this? They claimed that the Zoom call, that the virtual class was an extension of the school, therefore, the boy was in violation of state law that you cannot bring a gun to school. What the fuck? The mother said, adding that the school handbook does not address any rules for virtual learning at all. Besides, she said, he did not bring anything to this meeting, and he's in his own home. Yeah, that's what we call logic and common sense. Something that is absent from the liberal mind. Liberals are not capable of using logic and common sense. She said they were simply in the background in our house, in his own home. She said they were safely now remember, they're BB guns. They were safely stowed in a room behind a closed door with no ammunition, no BBs, in other words. She even said, no ammunition, if you can call it that. Now, the mother told PJ's Media that the school's vice principal called her ex-husband, claiming to be, quote, checking on network connectivity. Now, the mother believes that the real reason for the call was to find out whose home the son was in. So they're spying on the kid. This is the problem with your virtual education system. The vice principal ended the call without leveraging the opportunity to discuss the matter, and rather was fishing for information, she said, to find out where to send the police. So, let's recap, shall we? The young boy, a 5th grader, taking his virtual classes. Do you know how many kids are not showing up for their virtual classes, that are not doing their Zoom calls? And here's a kid that's actually following the rules. And another parent, because this Zoom thing, everybody can see everybody. So a parent, a concerned parent goes, oh my God, did you see what's on the wall hanging behind little Joey? Little Joey, oh my God, he's in a house with guns. Never mind the fact they're BB guns. They're guns. Never mind the fact that one of them even has an orange tip. But oh God, look at it. It's one of those AR-15 rifles. One of those evil black guns. Oh, we've got to call the police. So the parent contacts the teacher, who then looks and says, oh my God, she's right. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Boys and girls, wait just 1 second. I'll be right back. And she rushes off, and she goes and gets the principal. He comes in and he looks and goes, oh my God. Oh my God. Those are guns in little Joey's room. Where's little Joey? The teacher says, I don't know. I don't know what house he's in. He could be at his mother's. He could be at his father's. We better call the father and find out. Oh, yes, we're having connective issues. So that he gets on the phone, the principal does. Yes, hello, Mr. Sperry. Yes, this is the principal at Little Joey's school, and we're having some difficulty with the connectivity with Little Joey on our Zoom call. Is he at your house? Because we're testing the line. He is. Okay, just wanted to make sure, wanted to find out. And the reason he wanted to check the connectivity was not because there was anything wrong with the internet feed. He wanted to find out where little Joey was so they could send the police to knock at his door. Now, this is one of those things, if you're not pissed off, you're not paying attention. Then they use to justify this shit. The principal and the teacher say, well, there's a rule. There's a state law. We had to call the police. He brought those guns to school. No, he didn't. Those guns were in his home. And you were in his home. And you were spying on him and his mother and his father. You, Mr. Principal. You, Ms. Teacher. Actually, 2 teachers, according to this article from PJ's Media. 2 teachers called the police. The mother told PJ Media that the school's vice principal called her ex-husband, claiming to be checking on network connectivity. She believes the real reason for the call was to find out whose home her son was in. The vice principal ended the call without leveraging the opportunity to discuss the matter and rather was fishing for information to find out where to send the police. Now, this 11-year-old in question, he's a real troublemaker. He's a real trouble. You know why? He's a Boy Scout. As a matter of fact, the boy is pursuing the rank of Eagle Scout in his scout troop. And is an outdoor enthusiast. The mom describes him as just an all-around good kid, an all-boy kind of kid. In other words, he doesn't like to wear dresses, and he doesn't want to be called Ruth. He wants to be called by his real name. He doesn't grow his hair long and put curlers in it at night and go to school the next day and prance around. And as his parents, this is the mother speaking, she says, and as his parents, and by the way, legal guardians We have rights, and so does he. He is allowed to own these so-called guns. In addition, as you saw the BB guns there, the son is also training in the Scouts, and that makes him a troublemaker. Being in the Scouts, why, that's almost as bad as wearing a MAGA hat. He's training in archery and enjoys shooting his airsoft gun, his BB gun. She was understandably upset, the mother was, when the police pulled up in front of the family's home. She said, I had no idea what to think. I've never been in any legal trouble whatsoever. I've never had any negative encounters with law enforcement, she said. I had no idea. I really didn't know what to think. So I answered the door. The police officer, she said, was very nice. He explained to me that he was coming to address an issue with my son's school. And then she went on to say, explained to me that he was here to search our home for weapons. Now, the first thing the mom should have done was to say, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for your concern. Nothing to be concerned with. You may leave. You do not have to open your door to law enforcement unless they have a warrant. And the moment you invite them in, you have consented. Now, she did. She consented to let him in. And she says, then I unfortunately stood there and watched as police officers entered my 11-year-old son's bedroom. The officers that responded were appalled at the call and even commended the setup of the setup that my son has for all of his toys. They commended him also on his respect and understanding of BB guns. Now, the cops are good cops here, all right? They're just doing their job. And actually letting them in probably wasn't such a bad idea when you stop and think about it, because now, she's got, she's consented to a search. I think that makes her case to sue the school district even better. Spree, that's the mother, Sperry asked the principal why the issue couldn't have been handled privately by a phone call rather than sending in the police. He said, ready? That's not our policy when students are in danger. The guns, they were not, he didn't bring the guns to school, but the principal says, no, that doesn't matter because he's on a virtual call. He's on a Zoom meeting with our teacher. Therefore, he is not at home. He's at school. Ms. Sperry went on to say that the officers were more than nice, and though they did not have a warrant, I have always been taught not to, comply, but I had nothing to hide, so I allowed them to come in and look around. Don't forget, if they come to your door, law enforcement, and they do not have a search warrant. That doesn't mean they're not going to come back with one, but you do not have to allow them in. She said, I felt violated, though, as a parent for my child who's standing there with police officers in his room just to see the fear in her son's face. What she should have done, folks, is refuse, like I said, to allow the police in her home without a search warrant. Neither she nor her son had done anything wrong, but the police invaded her home. Make no mistake about it, this was uncalled for. And although they were polite, I'm sorry, that doesn't matter. You don't invade a person's home and poke around in their house for 20 or 30 minutes and start questioning an 11-year-old child over nothing. Regardless of whether there's any wrongdoing, okay? You don't allow the police in your home without a search warrant. Never, under any circumstances. I understand that she felt like she hadn't done anything wrong, so come on in. You can look around, but it's not a good precedent to take. I'm not chiding Mrs. Sperry. I'm not chiding her, but she shouldn't have. The overreaction, though, by this nosy-ass teacher, the spying done on her son and her ex-husband, the spying by the principal and the teacher is unforgivable. And according to Sperry, the teacher took a screenshot of the boy's bedroom, which, when you stop and think about it, is incredibly creepy and a violation of that boy's privacy. It is a violation of the family's privacy. When the mother demanded to see the screenshot that was taken by the creepy-ass teacher, she was told that she would not be allowed to see the screenshot because it wasn't a part of his official school record. Well, wait a fucking minute. If it's not a part of his record, then how is it any of your fucking business, Ms. Spying Teacher, Ms. Busybody, to go calling the police to invade that family's home? I'm telling you, this lady has a lawsuit. She might even have a lawsuit against the police, but that's not important. The lawsuit against that school. And if this doesn't piss you off as a parent, if this doesn't piss you off as a gun owner, now stop and think about it for a second. Why do these teachers keep insisting, even though there's only a 2.7% chance that anybody under the age of 45 years can catch the coronavirus, let alone the children in the schools? Why are they so insistent on this virtual teaching thing? This right here should be a big example to you. It allows these teachers and these principals and these busybodies to spy on your kids. It's scary. When you think about this, when you think about what they've done, who's on those calls, those Zoom meetings, those Zoom calls? Who's watching? Who's spying on your children? Who's viewing this stuff? Who's watching and subsequently taking notes and making screenshots of your home against your will? Screenshots that can be sent to anybody, anytime, anywhere. For what purpose? Now, the mother, according to PJ Media, said that she decided to go public with this in order to, quote, push for policy change and to make parents aware of the possible violations of privacy going on with these online classes. Good for you, ma'am. Now, she's in Baltimore. It's a very liberal city in a very liberal state. But this incident should raise serious questions for every parent when it comes to the privacy of your children, the privacy of your home, in your family. Teachers, and God knows who else, might be watching. But you know what's interesting? The teachers don't want you as a parent watching. The teachers will go to great lengths to see to it that the children are in private when they're conducting these classes. Some teachers have actually gone so far as to talk about this openly on Twitter and Facebook, saying, we can't let these kids' parents find out what we're teaching them. We can't let the parents know what's going on here. Why is that? Why are the teachers so concerned about their privacy, but no concern about your kids? Now, the school refused to comment. PJ's Media reached out to them. It says here, the school refused to comment on this specific case, but told Fox News in Baltimore, quote, there are multiple ways for families to share concerns with us. In general terms, the safety of our students and staff is our chief concern. How is the safety of any student and the teachers in question when you're on a Zoom call? How is a BB gun hanging on the wall behind this student in the privacy of his own bedroom in his own home, somehow placing the other students and the teacher at risk? Again, liberals can't answer that question. Liberals can't answer that question. And you have to ask yourself, what are the perimeters here? Where are the lines drawn when it comes to the invasion of privacy? You know, they do this all the time. They're always asking kids to rat out their parents who own guns. I went to the doctor's yesterday. First time I went to this doctor, Dr. Lee. Very nice lady. And before I could see the doctor, I had to fill out some forms. You know, a big stack of forms you always have to fill out when you see the doctor the first time. One of those forms was asking an awful lot of damn personal questions. Like, are there guns in your home? Do you feel safe? It asked me if I felt safe where I live. I looked at Laura, I looked at my wife, and I said, you see this question? Do I feel safe where I live? See, I look at questions in surveys or polls or questionnaires like that very literally. And I said, yes, I feel safe where I live, but yeah, I don't feel safe where I live because I live in Oildale, and there's a goodly amount of crime that's committed by tweakers. Laura said, no, honey. The question is, do you feel safe in your home from me? I'm sorry. I take things very literally. Do you feel safe where you live? And I said, okay, I got you. Yes, I checked yes. And then it said, are there guns where you live? Again, where I live, there are guns probably all up and down this street. No, they're referring to guns in my home. To which I wrote, none of your fucking business. Because they wanted to know if I had guns in the house. None of your fucking business. You know, we piss away our privacy in this country. And we do it by saying, well, you know, I've got nothing to hide. Well, screw that. Screw that. But where are the lines drawn with our kids? You know? If this woman's son were sitting at the kitchen island next to a butcher block, next to a cutting board, and on that cutting board there sits a carving knife, would that be considered a weapon? If the boy is not allowed to have a knife in school and he's in the kitchen using his Chromebook and behind him is one of those blocks with all the knives stuck in it, he wouldn't be allowed to carry those knives to school. Would those knives be considered a weapon? Would they call the police to report that the boy had brought weapons to school because there happened to be a block behind him with knives in it? This is absolute insanity, folks. It is absolute insanity. Take a moment to share this video on your Facebook or your Twitter. Be sure and share and tell everybody about the Jaz McKay Show. If you would be so kind, I would greatly appreciate it. We would love for you to continue to be a part of what we're doing here. We're doing the very best that we can in providing you with delightful information and entertainment every day. Finally, before we get out of here, not to change the subject, but I feel the need to because I wanted to share this with you. I believe this story comes to us out of, is it Ohio? Yes. Well, I'm not sure if this took place in Ohio. Anyway, the announcer for a man by the name of Tom Brenneman. This is our final story of the day. Bob, we're closing up shop after this. He was calling the game, and his name is Tom Brenneman, and he was calling the game between the Reds and the Royals. Okay, home game. It's a game in Kansas City. It was in Kansas City. Okay, Fox Sports announcer Tom Brenneman was replaced in a broadcast Wednesday night when he was heard using a homophobic phrase on the air. Brenneman, who calls Reds games for Fox Sports Ohio, as well as some national games for Fox Sports, appeared to be unaware that the broadcast of the Reds-Royals game in Kansas City had returned from a commercial break. In other words, he was caught in an open mic or a hot mic moment. He made some sort of homosexual slur about the city of Kansas. I'm assuming he was talking about the city of Kansas, and he was Now, this is the first time that I have ever heard of an announcer being replaced midway through the game. They pulled this guy off the air. Did you want to see it? Did you want to see the clip and hear what he had to say about the city of Kansas? Are you sure, Bob?
Sure.
Okay, here it is.
The fag capitals of the world. Reds Live, the pregame show presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing.
Oops. Tom Brenneman, former play-by-play announcer for the Cincinnati Reds, announcing the game in Kansas City between the Royals and the Cincinnati Reds, comes back from a break on Fox Sports, undoubtedly did not know that he was live.
The fag capitals of the world. Reds Live, the pregame show presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing.
Oops. Well, gee whiz.
What in the wide
What in the wide world of sports was that? What in What in the wide world of sports was that? The fag capital of the world? You know, you got to wonder, so is Kansas City a gay city? This was something I'm not quite aware of. Is Kansas City, is Kansas City a gay mecca? I know about San Francisco, but I'm not aware of I'm not aware of the city of Kansas being considered, you know, a gay mecca or anything like that. I wasn't aware of that. I could be wrong, but I wasn't aware of that. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm not. But I seem to recall, if I could get this to. No, that's not going to work. I wanted to make a very clever reference here, but I'm having trouble getting this to cooperate with us here on my OBS system. Not that there's anything wrong with the OBS system. It's obviously user error on my part. But, yeah, it's not going to work. Oh, gosh darn it. And after all that build-up, too. I hate when that happens. There we go. Finally. Okay. So let's see if we can take this from the top and make it work. All right. Where was that? I have to search for this. And just this is just like going right into the toilet, isn't it? I had this thing all planned out, and now it's not. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get this done right. Okay, here we go. Here is Tom Brenneman last night in Kansas City calling the Reds versus the Kansas City Royals.
The fag capitals of the world.
Is he talking about Kansas City?
Reds Live, the pregame show presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing.
Because I think if he's talking about Kansas City, he might very well be talking about this.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? I had you people try to get a little track lead, not to jump around like a bunch of Kansas City faggots.
Maybe he was referencing Blazing Saddles. Maybe that's what he was doing, was referencing Blazing Saddles. God only knows at this point what the poor schmuck was thinking. But he's pretty much pissed his career away with the Cincinnati Reds. I suppose I'm going to just kind of guess that he's probably not welcome back behind the microphone at the next Kansas City Royals game. And I feel kind of bad for the guy, to be honest with you. But you just can't say anything like that nowadays. No, sir. Can't do that. Oh, poor guy. All right, that's going to wrap it up for yours truly. Once again, go to my YouTube channel. It's the Jaz McKay Show on YouTube. Subscribe and share my videos over there. And be sure and share this one down below. God bless America. God bless our law enforcement. And death to the New World Order.